The UDU, Upland Development United, installed their neighborhood nodes throughout the entirety of Upland. Their reach was unmatched.
Welcome everybody to meeting number 23 of the Upland Development United Team. Today is the 14th of September, or where I am, it's the 15th. And today we got a lot to cover. There's been a lot happening this week, and we also have some awesome news that's been cooking away for, geez, I don't know, a month or more now. So we're excited to finally get that out there. First up, we'll look at the Tier 1 market floors again. I had a bit of a look last night. San Francisco is still stable at 20,000 UPEX. There's a big wall there of a whole range of people, so I'm not expecting any change in that anytime soon. Same in Manhattan. The big wall of Dizzy is still there at 40K. However, his wall at 40K, the floor in Manhattan is Harlem Purple Limited Collections. If you don't have any property in Manhattan, you'd be doing yourself a disservice not to get over there and grab 3 off the floor. Yeah, the market floor is 40K, and those are limited collection properties. So get in there and get some if you can. If you're in the team and you're a bit short of UPEX or something, reach out, and we can always organise collection swaps and that sort of stuff. So get on to that. Chicago, we've seen a little bit of a move there. It's gone up from 4.3K to about 4.4. What was interesting was I had a look too at the FSA floor. The FSA floor there is 4K, and the non-FSA floor is 4.3K. So I think we're just going to constantly see that bumping up and up and up. So yeah, again, if you don't have any over there, it's probably not a bad idea to go and get yourself a bag full for holders or some future flippers. And Santa Clara, we've seen a bit of a pull down there. We've gone from, I think I said 19K last week, and we're down now to about the 16K range. That's not unusual considering that we've had these new these new cities be released and people looking to score some liquidity. Again, keep your eye out. There's always North 101s going up there. So get hold of some of that action if you can too. So pretty stable all around. Moving on to our round 4 trains. Morchis, would you like to give us a bit of a rundown on how we're going?
Sure. So I feel like it's slowing down a little bit. So if you're watching and you're in UDU, and even if you're not in UDU, if you want to donate, you can send me an IM, DM, whatever it's called, and whatnot. But just to give a kind of idea of where we're at, we have completed 4 so far. We are filled up to number 6 on the list. We're more than halfway filled to number 7. Number 7 still needs 11 spark. I made an announcement today in the chat. I got a couple of people responded to me and are going to donate, but if you forgot about it, it's easy to kind of forget. There's a lot of stuff going on, yada yada. Make sure you remember and start staking.
Yeah, I think I checked. I don't know how to say his name, probably Ben Exwall. I call him Ben Exwall, and Finsky's apartments. They both finish in the next bit over a day, I think. So that's, what's that, 60 spark or something crazy if they're both full.
Yeah,
that's going to be a lot comes available. And yeah, if you're out there and you can donate some, don't forget that when you donate, or if you're as part of the Spark Train at all, you get one of Morchis' awesome NFTs at the end of the round. So don't underestimate the value in that. Bob, did you want to speak to the wagon?
Yeah, I think the Ford wagon is going steady. The bot was down for a while, but not that long, to be honest. And I think that the 4th building is completed. The 5th building is fully staked right now. It will take, I just took a look, 1 day and 15 hours or something like that to be completed. So we're halfway through. I think that's the update. Yeah, that's it.
Back is on fire over there.
Yes, I was a bit naughty, as you saw this morning. I pulled my 1 Spark donation, so apologies for that again. Yeah,
Still your
just with
card
me.
back.
I don't have a knife or a brush, so
Yeah. With that Spark that I'm renting now, I just got to try and make it as economically, viable as possible. So yeah, I did. I was putting up 2 buildings in Little Italy as well, so I've gone ahead and demolished those just so I can get the ball rolling with that other stuff. The next big thing to talk about is this Nflpa deal reveal. It kind of leads into some other stuff that I'm going to go into, but yeah, what did everyone think of that?
It is what it is. I feel like a lot of people aren't as excited. I'm excited. I like it. I think it's a good kind of segue into something bigger. I feel like at this point, NFL isn't doing anything with the blockchain. So we're not kind of missing out to somebody else, which is good. I like that, like I don't follow football personally, but I know it's popular in the US, and that's where the cities are currently. If we started over in Europe, I would think football was crazy and they should just do like regular football, soccer. But we're in the US starting out, so I think that's a good place to start. Even the Super Bowl, they put Super Bowl in Europe and England and whatnot. So I think it's cool. I mean, it is what it is my take on it.
Yeah, the only thing well, not the only thing, but I was a bit disappointed to see some prominent members in the community putting out public things consistently stating that Upland had signed a deal with the NFL and this was huge, and it's just not a deal with the NFL. I think Upland made that pretty well known within the documentation they put out. So I don't know why the message has been missed there. How that plays out further down the track, I'm not sure. Anybody else want to speak to it? There's not a whole lot of enthusiasm out there. Oh yeah, Fish?
Yeah, I want to mirror what Morchi said. I'm not excited about this per se, because like you said, the fact that it wasn't NFL, it's the players, they don't have the logos, whatever. It's more the fact that they're doing this and they're setting the stage for what comes next. I think that's the exciting thing about this.
That kind of leads into a segue for my wine of the week, which was going to be talking about demand bottlenecks. We've had the team on several occasions struggle with city releases or things of that nature, and they fall back on unprecedented demand. That's not a good enough excuse. They've been working on this deal for probably the better part of the year. They're pushing for mainstream adoption through this deal. They know there's massive demand there. They've seen it every time they've released a city. You can't keep saying that, well, we weren't expecting so many transactions per second. The demand is going exponential. The back end has to be way in front of that. It can't be reactionary all the time. At the moment, we're getting to a certain stage, and then the community base is expanding exponentially, and then the next release, well, it hasn't kept up. So for me personally, this whole Nflpa deal has been a massive delay to the roadmap, which is fair enough. If what you're saying is that we're putting all the groundwork in for the future, but I think Upland is really struggling with an identity crisis. Like, is this a property trading game, or is this just an NFT platform? Can it be both? Well, it probably can. I think we deserve better than what we've got at the moment, especially people that have been in for a while. Like, there has been a lot of progress, but to think that all of this focus and energy has been gone into this thing that isn't really to do with the core foundations of the game. Yeah, I don't know. I think I'm just
I
worried
see what you're
about
saying.
feature creep
Like,
and squirrel chasing, you know?
I agree with you. Like, I feel like they did have a set list of things that they needed to get done. I feel like they kind of did this all at the same time, and then they kind of dropped the ball with organization or planning. And they're like, oh my God, we have to get this out by a certain amount of time, blah, blah, blah. Yeah, I think it's just bad planning, to be honest. Hopefully, well, I don't want to jinx anything, but hopefully, like, they can get this working and they can get back to the business thing, because that's what I'm looking forward to. And I know Ben is looking for. I can't wait to see like Ben's stuff that he puts out, because I want to put some nice stuff in my backyard.
Yeah, we'll see. I mean, all these new announcements and these new deals and all of that, every time I see that, I always think to myself, how does this improve the core functionality of the game? You know, the guts of the thing. That's what people are going to stick around for. Like, there's no point pushing for mainstream adoption when we haven't got the foundations and the fundamentals secure. You know, the gamification, all of those small little things that the community's been offering feedback on, offering suggestions on for the better part of almost 2 years now. Yeah, we need to get all those things locked and loaded and ready. And there's no point getting all these people into the game and, well, the back end is not right because we're having a release and it's just an epic failure. And the front end is not right because there's people saying, okay, I bought 2 properties now, what the hell do I do? And, you know, where are we? I mean, if the game is going to merge into a NFT platform, well, there's already plenty of other NFT platforms there. You know, it just comes back to, I think we're really suffering from an identity crisis. Yeah. So demand bottlenecks, I mean, as I said before, the demands, if you go chasing exponential interest, you're going to get exponential demand. We know that's happening. They're pushing for it. Well, you got to put the work in to front load that. You can't just be this reactionary thing all the time. So that kind of grinding my gears a bit. So that's my one of the week. But we shall see. As we did last week, now we don't want to just focus on all the negatives, and I know I can't be a whiner all the time. So the win of the week, this is an interesting one this week because it's I guess for some people it's a win and for a lot of people it's a whine. So the win of the week this week was going to be God Mode, and that was based on the original release of Kansas and what was supposed to be Rutherford. Now we did have several of our members who just won epically in God Mode, and if you don't know what God Mode is, it's when a city is released and your block explorer range is just massively inflated compared to what it's supposed to be. So apparently they got the calculations wrong or something, but yeah, I think the interns flicked the wrong switch again. So we had for God Mode in the first release, it was Human Sim. These are the members that I know that scored well. Human Sim, Liquid Emoji, UDUA, Benex War, and Bogdansky. They all had massive wins. Like, some of the stuff they were able to mint was pretty epic. And I know Human Sim, at least, he did a couple of good flips and made some mad bank off that. Now, a lot of people in the community were kind of upset that those players were able to do that. Come on. If you're in a high value collection area and it turns green, you really seriously telling me you're not going to press mint? I've been there and done that for the Fresno release. The first Fresno release, the train stations were supposed to be locked. They all turned green. Hell yeah, we all bought them. I got one. There's a whole bunch of us did. Yeah, I think that's a bit, I don't know what the word is, but yeah, just to put that on them and say, oh, you shouldn't have done that, that's just ridiculous. Yeah. So yeah, but then of course we've had that the same God Mode was enacted for this stress test that we just had. But what was strange about that was only some people had it. I know I definitely didn't have it. I was only able to mint 3 just random properties. Morchies, I think you said you had it this morning.
Yeah, I was able to see the whole area.
Yeah.
But I'm slow. I'm not very good when it comes to like, you know, fast fingers. Hawaiian got lucky though. He got a nice main street. If I would have known you could see everything, I don't think we were supposed to see everything.
No, definitely not.
I was in the Upland chat and somebody had just mentioned it, and poor Uplando was so stressed out. He was he's trying to distract from people actually mentioning it, but once it was said, that's when they started taking the green stuff away and you couldn't really mint anymore. And I'm right there, I'm right next to Main Street, and you just see it kind of turning gray, and I'm like, no. So it is what it is.
Did you grab anything at all?
I grabbed a few like randoms that I'm gonna see if maybe I can flip for a bit. I took one, I got a cheap one right next to the open unminted main streets. That way I can kind of like send to it and have a nice start.
Nice.
Yeah.
Yeah, I was right on Main Street. That's what I was looking to get. But yeah, I watched everything turn green, and everything in my area, it was gone instantaneously. It was literally 1 second. So, you know, I wasn't too worried about it. So I just moved further down the map, and there was a couple of big properties there, and I clicked on it. It was like 250K, and I pressed buy, and then I cancelled it. I'm like, nah, I'm just getting it because it's there. It's just pointless.
You
So
should have told me, I would have got it.
nah, I was still in bed at that stage. So.
All right.
But I ended up just getting 3 small ones just to get the Kansas collection, and then I got straight on the train back to Chicago. I was out of there. So yeah.
You left
because they haven't put any sends or anything there yet. So I'm sure they will at some point. But I think it was 140 UPEX to go back to Chicago or something. So
all right, that's not bad. Yeah.
I was just kind of forcing myself to not spend any more money there too. So yeah. I wouldn't be buying there for a purpose. I'd just be buying there because it's available, like I did in Santa Clara. Famously, I went there to get 3 properties and ended up spending, I think, 5-6 million or something stupid. So, yeah.
Jesus.
Yeah, exactly. So, hence on the train and out of there. So, yeah, what we know from the stress test was, yeah, that it seems like they put the kibosh on that and pulled it down because their God mode was activated again. So, I mean, it seems like a silly thing to forget, but we'll see. I suppose we're likely in for another stress test before they go for the main release. I've got written down unpacking the clusterfuck. That was from the initial Kansas release. I guess with this latest stress test, I guess we don't really need to go into that in any real detail, do we? No, everybody knows what it is. It wasn't fun. I guess it's a bit embarrassing for that whole Nflpa deal to have that all under works, and this is the big release, and yay, and then it just crashes and burns. It's a bit embarrassing and a bit disappointing. Like I felt embarrassed for the team. One thing that I forgot to say with that Nflpa deal, what I was just absolutely astonished to see was, sure, they got airdropped. I think they got airdropped 20 sparks so they could start building for their NFT shops and their merchandise shops and whatnot. But they're building townhouses. Like, really? They're building the generic residential townhouses as their shop fronts. Wow. Again, that goes back to getting the foundations right. That doesn't bode well for things like businesses where, like, I potentially have a business and I want to put a custom building there for my business. I don't want my business to be run out of an apartment building. That's ridiculous. But if they can't even do custom buildings for an official partner, it's a bit of a worry. And I really don't understand that, because we've done these building design competitions before and they've imported those into the game. it should just be a case of let us know what the specs are. If it has to be built in Blender, that's fine. Let us know what the specs are. We'll do all the work and we'll submit it. And then pretty much all they should have to do on their end is check that it meets the specs and that it's good and patch it in. It's one of those head scratches things that it goes back to that we've been asking for these little things or suggesting these little things, and it's all those little things add up. You know, it might seem small and insignificant, so maybe it's not on the team's radar, but yeah, they add up, and it does make a difference whether they think so or not. Yeah, if I was somebody from the NFL community who came into, you know, who looked at the media about all this deal and came into it, and you looked around and where you're going to buy your stuff from is a bloody townhouse right next to somebody else's townhouse. It's, yeah, I don't know. It's a very strange one for me. So looking ahead for the main release, is everybody sticking to Kansas? Is everybody bailed out on Rutherford?
I'm gonna stay in Kansas.
Yeah. Fish is nodding. He looks like a Kansas. Yeah.
What about you, Ben? Because I know you originally wanted to go to
Rutherford. Yeah, I got no interest in Kansas really. Not that I have much interest in Rutherford, but I just think that because it's a smaller area, yeah, to be the flip potential there is probably a bit better. So I don't know. I think I just caught Uplando in the cafe before we started. He was talking about there maybe 8 teams run out of Rutherford at the start or something crazy. So I assume there's going to be high demand there. So yeah, I think I'm probably going to head back over there and see what I can get. What about you, Bob? You sticking to Kansas?
Oh, I have to unmute. I will definitely think I will stick to Kansas. Yeah.
Yeah.
I'm still hoping to just mint during a first release one rare property, because I wasn't actually able to do that a lot, or at all. No, a lot, but yeah. So I think it's still worth it to stay in Kansas, but and also because I think that will be again the first city for an next release or a stress test or something like that.
Yeah.
I can't even imagine if they are even actually able to release both at the same time if they have all the trouble with just one city, but yeah, who knows?
Yeah, Husky saying he's staying in Kansas. Awesome. Everybody stay in Kansas. That'd be great. Yeah, and the other thing we haven't really discussed much is, well, there's been a little bit of talk to node or not to node within Kansas. Now, there's no point trying to node within Rutherford because there's only 2 neighborhoods. So Kansas City, is there a play there? Isn't there a play? Obviously, we won't push it out public, but I don't know. Is it worth having a look at that? Or is everybody just scrambling for collections again, which we've kind of seen over the last several releases?
They're just scrambling for collections. Maybe I know there's some things I'm looking out for. I don't want to say it. I don't want people to know my secrets.
Yeah,
they're probably not secrets, but
that's hard too because it's a, what is it, a tier? Is it a tier 2? 50% FSAs is always really difficult to create a node.
It's huge though. It's got so much availability.
Yeah, I think Chicago taught us one thing was that, like, and especially because Chicago was vanilla at the start, everybody went for the speculation and kind of burned out, and the whole node situation kind of fell to the wayside. But in hindsight, we had probably 2 months there where we could have.
I love vanilla.
Where we could have really, yeah, I like it too.
Oh,
we could have really impacted on 1 or 2 neighborhoods there, and it's a tier 1 city. So I think it's something we have to be mindful of for the next tier 1 release is, you know, making a solid play. And it doesn't have to be the millions up front. It can be the kind of slow burn steamroller approach almost. So it's something to keep note of. What have we got? Anderson was playing to the beginning. Yeah. Andersonville's, and that ended up being a collection, didn't it? Yeah.
Yeah. So it was part of a potential node thing. We had, I think, United Center at Andersonville, and I just went to Andersonville in the beginning. I just minted 18 properties there, and yeah, that was quite lucky actually. But
Nice flip. Yeah.
Yeah, I think I grabbed a dozen or so, but that's a prime example where we kind of did the background research at the front. We identified the area and we put it out there, but then didn't really follow it up. So yeah, imagine that. Imagine if we had pulled that one off. That would have been pretty cool. So something to keep in mind for the next one for sure. Alrighty, now the main point for this week's meeting was the big final secret node reveal. Now this is something that Bocchio and Slav and CB have been working on. CB's not a UDU member, but yeah, he has been working close with Boc and Slav on this one. Really cool project. A huge amount of work's been put in by everybody. And you know, there was a play that hopefully, as part of the vanilla situation in Cleveland, that we might have snuck a rare collection in there or an ultra rare. It didn't quite pan out that way for the official collections, but still some pretty awesome stuff on the way. So I'll throw it over to you, Bob.
Yeah, thank you. Let me see if I can share the screen. Can you guys see it, and girls? All right. Yeah, so I really want to thank Slav first. Can you say hi, Slav? Or oh, he's muted. Because he was actually the big node founder. He while I was actually chasing some collection properties in Cleveland from the start, Slav came up with this very amazing research thing about Superman. That Superman was actually born in Glenville, a neighborhood in Cleveland. And there were 3 particular streets out there that have in real life Superman logo on the street name. And that was quite cool. And we also know that there were some very interesting properties there in Glenville. So the original founders, the 2 original founders of Superman, they actually lived in Glenville, and those houses were available. One of those homes was 100622 Kimberly Ave, and that one is an official landmark. It's unfortunately is locked, so we tried to sweep that one away during an auction, but the other founder's home is actually also there in Glenville. And we were actually able to sweep that one away. I hear some background noise. Do you also hear that? Oh, now it's gone. Oh, now I can't hear you. Can you hear me?
Yeah, we can hear. I think it was just Eric came in and he was not muted, so I'm just muting him.
Yeah. So basically, that great research of Slav that actually resulted into it's a micro node, and it's called the SMU node, Super Miles United. And here's the poster of it. A herd of llamas from the old metaverse connecting a building with the real world. And what we want to depict with this picture is that there are actually 2 planets, the planet Upland and the planet Earth, with Glenville and Upland, and Superman and Miles. They are coming together and they're going to build. And that's exactly what we want to do with it. Where is it located? It is located in Glenville. And basically what we went after are the main streets and the commercial streets. And the main streets are Parkwood Drive. And those are the actual street name in real life. So Lois Lane, that's the actual name of the street. Amor Ave, Joe Shuster Lane, and Kimberly Ave, Jerry Siegel Lane. This is going to be a residential area and a business area. And the commercial streets, that's actually going to be the business area. And there we also have some blocks like Everton Ave, Elgin Ave, East 103 and 105. So this is actually our target. And the reason why we chose it was the great historical significance. Like I told you in the beginning, Superman was born in Glenville, the founders lived there. The main streets have actually the S insignia on them. There are some hotspots, the founder's home, and there's also a very nice historical plaque that also honors Superman. Fun fact is that that plaque has actually been stolen, but then it has been returned. And people thought that that plaque could potentially result in a lot of money, but it wasn't bronze or something like that. It was actually aluminium. So they miscalculated on that one, I think. And what's also cool, because the Upland slogan is rebuilding the world, but in Glenville, they actually did it themselves. So the original home of the owner, that was in a very poor condition. And there is this Schuster Society. So that's a comic book organization where, you know, all fans reunite. And they actually raised a big fundraiser to restore the original Superman home. So otherwise it wouldn't have been even there. And here you can see some pictures, the street's name with the actual names on it, like Joey Schuster Lane, Lewis Lane, Jerry Siegel Lane. This is the home that we also actually own in Upland, with the fences, with the Superman, with pictures of the first Superman comic on them. And this was the locked home. It's still locked though. That's the Jerry Siegel's home. Those are a bit larger pictures. So Jerry Siegel's home, the streets with the names on them. And we thought that's a very interesting target. We wanted to create a micronode there. And we secured it. This is the data, the ownership data. And the main streets, we actually own a lot of properties there. Parkwood Drive, we own 97%. Armour Ave full, 100%. And Kimberley Ave, 88%. The commercial streets, we also own a relatively good amount of properties there. 76% on Everton Ave and 79% on Anselm Ave. And we have some protective areas around our node.
And just to clarify, your percentages there of ownership, not all those people are UDU members, but they are people who you're in touch with and they're on board with your vision and focus and all that sort of stuff, which is really cool to see.
Yeah, 100%. Yeah, we were quite happy that they helped us. I think we should definitely thank Ataid. He did an amazing job together with Slav in the beginning. We did a lot of properties there. Banking did a good job. Agatha did a good job. And also Human Sim, he gave us some really good advice. So yeah, we had a solid team actually who minted as fast as they can. And especially Slav and those guys like Ataid, they actually minted from the start. They were not even chasing collections. And this is the map that has been created by Steve. And here you can see the data. So here are the streets. This is Kimberley Ave. I think this is Amore Ave because we own 100% there. This is Parkwood Drive. Some properties, it looks like we don't own them, but those are not actually Parkwood Drive addresses. So this is Parkwood Drive. And this is the protective site. This is going to be the business area. Here you have Glenville Plaza. So that's a very big mall. So we are trying to make that, turn that into a commercial area. Here you have Lynn Drive. There's actually here around it, Lynn Drive. You own some properties there, Parkwood Drive, and the side streets. And here you can also see the names from Google Maps. Fortunately, we targeted a neighborhood that is actually large enough to build. We made a box plot of the sizes, the UP2 sizes for different groups. And what we basically can see is that I think the 20 UP2 was the minimal size to build. And almost all properties are actually bigger than 20 UP2. There are a couple of properties between 20 and 30, but most of them you can actually build on. Yeah, we have a strategy. And I'm not going to read through the entire mission thing, but the key thing about this node is that we actually want to honor Superman and its team, like helping the people in need. And what we want to do is we want to actually, like Upland says, we want to rebuild the world. And not only the Upland world with building properties there, but we also want to engage in some projects in real life in Glenville. We already have some ideas about it, but we also want our members to think about it if they so that they can actually engage into the node too. And what we are thinking about is, for instance, create a Superman tour. So you have an institution there, and maybe we can try to help them with I don't know, if the funding goes well, create a Superman bus and then create a tour for sick children in real life Superman bus. And that's what we want to do. We want to create a social responsibility node. So we are actually building in Upland, but also on now in real life. And we are talking about Upland and different partnerships, but I think it's also good that Upland can say, and UDU can say like, hey, we are not only thinking about ourselves and in the game, we are also thinking about the in real life situations. And that's the main strategy, the main idea behind the node. Building in Upland and building in the real world. And what we want to do, this is a suggestion. And that also, I think that's very important to stress. People who are going to join the node, we're not forcing them to participate in a social responsibility thing. If you want to just build, that's also fine with us. We're still trying to do some projects, so that's good enough, but we're not forcing you or something like that. And that also counts for the design. What we actually wanted to do is we want to mimic the Superman birdhouse. So this is the actual house in real life of one of the owners. And that's what we want to mimic here in Upland. Then again, this is a design suggestion, but we think it would be very cool if you have this block of Kimberley buildings.
And that's going to look really cool if that's all built out like that in the same colors. That'll look awesome.
Yeah, would be cool. Yeah, I don't know what I did here, but okay. Yeah, this is a detailed roadmap. Yeah, you can check that later. I don't think it's worth to go to that in detail. We reached the ownership securitization phase. The website, the logo, the Discord server is ready. The next step that we want to do is we want to let people buy into the node. And then we go to property development, the projects. And we hope that in like 5 years, we can actually realize 3 projects and reach a certain collection status if that's possible.
Yeah, I spoke to you when you first showed me the roadmap. And yeah, I think it's really good that your roadmap doesn't have anything in there that's not realistic. Like there's no like imaginary stretch goals. It's all stuff that you either have done already or, you know, it's pretty simple to see how that's going to fall in place with a little bit of extra time and work. So good on you for putting that together.
Yeah, we want to be realistic. So it's like a 5-year project that also really stresses that this is not a short-term thing. We are really into this for the long run. I had lots of talks with Slav and CB, and they are so committed. So I'm absolutely sure that that they and we are going to rock it with the node. If you're interested, you can just click here and you can read different background info about Superman. And this is the official reservation of rights thing. What we did is, let me check if I can open that. If you want to join or if you are interested, you can just DM me, Slav or CB. And we have a Discord server, so we can give you access to it with the general chat. It's relatively new, so you're still an early adopter if you join the node. With updates, rules. Here you can check out the presentation again. There is a shorter version. This was actually a shorter version, and we also have a complete version where you can also see the projects that we already have 2 suggestions of. Yeah, the logo, the mission, the structure, the node, etc., etc. So there is a Discord server that you can check out. There will be a quiz soon. So if you really want to win some rewards, it would definitely be worth it to read the presentation and to look at all the references and the links. This is actually really hardcore, actually. And yeah, I think it's just very important to stress out that Slav, the node founder, did an amazing job. I think that without Slav, the node wouldn't be there. We just did the administration, like CBME and the buy-in stuff. Also, Ben, we want to thank you a lot. You bought a lot of Kimberley Aves there. That was very hard to sweep. We thought it would be like an ultra rare collection at the beginning and maybe Parkour Drive a rare collection because of the street name. So we wanted to sweep some properties away before they turn out a collection.
We got Slav on. Slav, did you want to speak to him?
Yeah, Slav.
He's too shy. He's too shy, Bob.
Is he too shy? No.
Oh, no, he's giggling. He's doing creepy giggling.
Yeah.
Yeah, I think it's really good. Like you guys have clearly done a lot of work and that sort of thing. If people do want to get involved, I know when we talk about pricing, I thought it was pretty cool that you put a list of specific properties together. Is that something you're going to, is that public within your server yet, or is that just to reach out and discuss with you sort of thing?
No, it's something that we are actually working on right now. I really wanted to, we really wanted to get the node live so that people know about the node. And I think that within this week or the next week, we will provide a short post with the conditions. It's from scratch right now, but what we are thinking of is like, if you want to buy a property between 20 UP2 or 30 UP2, then you will have to pay a bit of a lower price. When it's around 40 or 50, then there will be a certain price. I'm thinking about prices around Lone Mountain, actually, something like that, but it's not solid. And we will actually provide a list with properties that become available. And the first properties that we are going to release, those are going to be the Main Street properties. We are locking the Commercial Street area for now because we want to wait if it's going to happen for the better business developments. And I think the first buy-in option will be Parkwood Drive and Armour Ave. And right now, I think we're going to release 30 properties. So it's a little bit limited, but it's still around 10%. We are very enthusiastic about the node. The supply is limited, and then we will just put a list online with the properties that you can buy. So there will be no discussion like DMs, like, hey, can I get a discount? That's not possible. We just have, those are the properties that become available. This is the price, but that will follow soon.
Yeah, I like that. That kind of, after I spoke to you about that system, I thought about it myself too for Midtown Terrace. I think there's about 38 more properties in Midtown Terrace I'm willing to let go of to team members. Yeah, I like that idea. I know I had Finsky reach out to me recently wanting me to put some properties in reserve for him in Midtown Terrace. I think, yeah, I'm pretty much going to do the same thing where I'll list out the exact addresses and I'll just start, even if you don't have the funds yet, I'll start nominating people in there because I've done it several times where I've said, yeah, I'll hold on to them. And then somebody will say, can I get 3 properties? And then I accidentally sell them. So, yeah. I thought that's a really smart idea, especially when it's probably too much if you got 100 and something properties like that. But if you're in that 20, 30 range, I think that's a good way forward.
Yeah.
Awesome. All right. Is there anything else you wanted to say to wrap that up?
No, I think that's it.
Yeah, that's very cool. And yeah, we're stoked to have that out and about in public. So I guess we can move the SMU channel, or maybe you want to go through and filter out anything that you don't want public, or should we keep the existing one private and make a new one? Maybe you can.
Yeah, I think that's a good idea.
Yeah, rather than have to filter out all that stuff.
Yeah, true.
Very good. Moving on to the Wine and Cheese Show. We're very stoked to get the first episode of that out. Morcheese, did you want to speak to that?
Hi. Yeah, I did better than I thought I would. I was expecting not such a good performance. Ben, you always do great. You're a good talker. Yeah, I think maybe it was because we had such a great guest. Lil killed it. Her art, like the way she speaks, everything is just awesome. You know, hopefully going forward, we can have just as many successes as that one. But I'm happy with it. Like, what are your thoughts, Ben?
Yeah, most importantly, it was fun. It was fun to do. It was fun to put together, and it was fun to get out there. So yeah, no, I was pretty happy. And yeah, I think Lil was the perfect first guest. So yeah, we're still keeping our second guest under wraps. We're hopefully going to record that later today, and I'll speak a bit further on about that. Now, as part of the episode 1 recording and the interview with Lil, she did put together, if you haven't already seen it, she did put together this awesome, where is it? Sorry. She did put this awesome NFT here, and it combines Lil's kind of her artwork style with the UDU logo from Screw, and yeah, it's a pretty cool NFT. Now, unfortunately, Angela and Morcheese and I put a little Easter egg in the first episode where you had the chance to get one of those for free if you did something. So as of yet, nobody has claimed one, which is quite interesting. So I don't know. Should we give them a hint or what?
I think that was enough of a hint, though. I think that was like perfect.
All right. What I will say is the instructions on exactly what to do and how to get one of those 10 NFTs available is very clear and within the episode. So we'll leave it at that. So, yeah.
The only thing I do regret, though, is I was a little bit too nice to you.
Yes.
I think maybe next episode there needs to be a little more abuse.
Yep.
The honeymoon's over. That's it. Yeah. You love it. I know. Yeah. So I'll have my brush the next time.
That's cool. As long as you can take some back as well. You know, it does go both ways. No point being. I'll
probably go cry.
You can't have all M and no S. You know? Come on, it's going to be a bit of S.
Why not?
Yeah, and one thing we did forget that Morcheese and I have talked about as part of these episodes, we want to do a front end with a little bit of what's happening in the NFT space banter before we interview the guests. So, you know, as we learn and evolve and get better and take on feedback and that sort of thing, the show will evolve as well. So yeah, keep an ear out for episode number 2, but maybe go and rewatch episode number 1 if you want one of those very cool NFTs. Oh, and I should say too, Lil does have several of those up for sale in the market on Atomic Hub as well. I'll link to that in the description of this video. So check
also
that out.
Make sure you check out the video, like and subscribe, leave a comment. We worked really hard on this. I worked so hard on the lyrics and visuals for the beginning song. Ben had so many great ideas, so check us out, give us some love.
It was funny how many conversations we had trying to come up with the thumbnails and the logos and all this sort of thing, and we're having all these fights, not the right word, but backwards and forwards, like do this, do that, and blah blah blah. It went on for weeks and weeks and weeks, and in the end it was just Angela did this amazing artwork up for it, and that just solved all the problems, and it was really cool. So thank you for that.
The song really, the song is really catchy. It really catches on. I mean, sometimes when I just walk around, then I'm just, I don't know how to say, learn it or sing it.
Yeah.
So
all the time.
I can't believe how Angela and those people from Nessie did it. It's so amazing. It's really cool.
It's peanut butter on your brain. They call it peanut butter on your brain. It just sticks there.
Your brain.
Yes.
I like that.
That's from Alice in Chains. But yeah, hopefully we got it out there that it's not safe for work, the full theme song. So I know a few people have been caught off guard by that, myself included. Like my kids love to play it. They love running around the house singing it as well and playing the air guitar and stuff. And it's funny that they self-censor themselves now. So apologies if you got caught out. Yeah.
Go ahead and get your pinkies up.
Yes. So now, yeah, speaking to that too, we are fully on Spotify now. I have submitted to Apple. Everything you try and do with Apple is a major pain in the butt, so that's still ongoing. But hopefully, going to get that Apple podcast sorted out sooner rather than later as well. Last week we set up a team meme challenge, which was the artwork for the Wine and Cheese show. Unfortunately, I'm not sure, but Bocchio got disqualified for the ridiculous suggestion that we eat meat pies with a knife and fork. So yeah, he got the knife, the brush, and he got disqualified. It was a good one, but I may be able to. Maybe I'll see if I can bring that up. So we did have. What did we say? We said there was going to be first, second, and third, and I think aside from Bocchio's, we only had 3 submissions, so that made the process a little bit easier.
Yeah.
Let me scroll down.
Oh wait, is this my screen or not?
Oh, you're sharing.
No, it's your screen.
No, this is mine.
Yeah, I was confused.
I don't know. We're all over the place. Where are we? No, it's up in general, isn't it? General meme contest. All right. So, yeah. So it was the artwork for the Wine and Cheese show, and Bocchio's meme was next time we should eat sushi instead of a meat pie. And then Morchi says why. And I said, because then you can hit me with a knife. But yes, Spokia, we don't eat meat pies with knives and forks, so that was disqualified. Second up, we had Husky with a reinvention of the classic guy and girl turning around, perving on the chick in the red dress. And he'd done a bit of clever copying and pasting for the new city drop, 2 new cities, mine or mine. So that was pretty cool. Next one from Lifestyle Wild Jasmine. I'm saying, did someone pull their spark out of the train? And More Cheese flips out and says, what? Where's my knife? Let me grab my knife. And I said, oh, they've just moved it on to the next on the list. Oh, that's fine. MC is so chillaxed. So that was hilariously funny because that's like legit real life. So that was cool. And then we had YCE guy, or however you pronounce it, say, the dev said we could get our businesses set up in our nodes. And then More Cheese, it said soon, unless you are the Nflpa. Now, I did say in the chat, oh, this one stings because it's a bit too close for home, but that was a good one too. So I think More Cheese and I were unanimous in our decision that Lifestyle Wild Jasmine, you're going to take first place. So you get the Lone Mountain United property. Husky, who's on chat now, you win the, what was it, 15K? And YC guy, you get the 10K. So reach out to me for your prizes, please, and we'll get those sorted out. No real challenge this week. I'll put my thinking cap on, or if you can come up with something for next week, we'll see how we go. Speaking of next week, I'm on holidays. It's school holidays here, and I've got the first week off to take care of my kids, and we've got a whole bunch of stuff planned. What that does mean for the UDU is that I'm available, which is a pretty rare occurrence. I know More Cheese and I usually have a bit of back and forth before I run off to work, and I'm forever telling her, sorry, I'm late for work, I gotta go, or I say the same thing to Bok. Yeah, next week I'm going to have absolute crap ton of free time. So if there's anything I've forgotten to do, I know there's a few people who reached out for collection swaps and that sort of thing. If there's anything I've forgotten to do or you want me to do, next week's the week to get it done. I know More Cheese and I are looking to bank several episodes of the Wine and Cheese show. I would also like to do I'd like to bank a few of the Who is UDU series. I really want to get that revived, up and running again. So, Mike, now that your superhero play is out in the open, I might hit you up. We'll see how we go. And anybody else? Yeah, I mean, don't think if you're somebody who hasn't really been involved with us for too long, don't think that excludes you. Or if you're somebody who's been in for a while but haven't really been active, don't think that's excludes you. In fact, we'd like to get to know you more. So that'd be cool. So I don't know. I know Husky's on. Slab, we can see if we can break you. Yeah, Hawaiian, he's a classic one. Like, I'll toot his trumpet and blow some smoke up his ass a bit. Like, how good is the guy? I mean, you know, we'd trade 30 of our loose lurker members for one of him any game. He's the man. So really love the energy and vibe that he brings into the team. But yeah, next week, hit me up. Let's get some stuff done and dusted. I did mention if you're in the UDU, not the UDUA, you would have seen in the Midtown Terrace United channel, in the Node channel, I've kind of talking to myself in there, trying to work out some numbers. I have started to rent some Spark. We know that Midtown Terrace United is miles ahead of any other neighborhood in development, which I kind of sat down and reflected on. I thought that's pretty impressive, considering small neighborhoods like Alamo Square in San Francisco has a massive following. Like, I've already built my properties in Alamo Square. Yeah, I'm hoping the data's correct. Pretty happy to be double the next, double the percentage of the next people behind us, but it's important that we keep pushing and keeping up with that. So, yeah, I have rented some Spark. I will be looking to rent more. And all of that Spark that I'm renting it's all going to Midtown Terrace. I'm building in Midtown Terrace. And we'll look to that in future trains and that sort of thing as well. So, yeah, if you're listening and you have Spark available to rent, reach out. Just for logistical reasons, I'm not looking to rent Spark from anybody who doesn't have at least 5. I don't want to be dealing with, 10 people with 1 Spark here and 2 Spark there. So reach out, offer good rates and that sort of thing. FSA agents. Yeah, I talked about this last week. Yeah, if you're listening and you're a FSA player and you want to get involved with the UDU, reach out. Otherwise, I'll be advertising soon. Just a couple more things to wrap this one up. This will be another late upload again. I got a bunch of stuff to do this morning, so apologies for that. And one last thing that I wanted to cover is, what else do we want to do in these meetings? You know, it's good today. Box got involved and that sort of thing. It's kind of almost turned into the listen to Ben waffle on show. Yeah, if you're somebody who wants to get involved in an ongoing segment or a one-off or something like that, just let us know. Always open for more input, because I pretty much hate listening to the sound of my own voice. So,
Well, two things before we stop.
yes.
Teddy found the Easter egg.
Oh, we have our first.
So we have our first. So he did a thing. I'm going to get him his NFT.
Well done, Teddy.
Also, I just want to tell Bakio and Slav how proud of them I am. I knew you guys were like awesome and set for big things. Bakio, I've seen your presentations before and they're extremely impressive. Everything you guys did with the SMU node is amazing. I really want to be a part of it, so I'm waving my wand at you.
Yeah, yeah, definitely.
So yeah, I'm like totally taken back. My brain exploded with your presentation. It was awesome. You did a great job, and I just really wanted to give you props before the ending of this meeting.
Yeah, very cool. And I'm so happy, and Slav is so happy, and CB are happy that we can actually use this platform to share it. It's very amazing. Also, thank you, Ben Knebik-Svinsky, for the advice. You were also giving us very good advice in the background. And I think it proves that, you know, every UDU member can start a node. I mean, I'm a 3-4 player. So, you know, if you have an idea and you just have a good group of 4 people and a good idea, what actually came from Slav, then yeah, definitely we can make it work.
100%. Alrighty, I think that's a good point to wrap up on. Thanks, everybody. See you next week.